Hi guys, George Glinsky here from Toe the Line, joined today by Bournemouth's finest, CJ Mills. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, thank you, mate.
Yeah, good man. How's lockdown treating you?
It's not too bad, all fairness. I've still been sort of ticking over doing the same sort of thing, so it hasn't been too bad. So I haven't felt like being stuck in or anything so much. Obviously, it's done my brain in a bit. My normal weight gyms and everything being shut drove me mad a bit. But other than that, I've still been sort of opening up the boxing gym and ticking over on little things. So it hasn't been too bad for me.
Same old. Obviously, you've been in BKB for quite some time. I believe your debut was JJ Ferguson.
Blood from somewhere.
Yeah, I think he had a trickle of blood there from the nose.
Oh, good shot from Mills. And another one. Great shot from Mills.
How exactly did you get into BKB? Because I haven't actually seen it discussed anywhere.
Just basically, obviously, in my time I've had a few arranged like street fights and everything like that. And when BKB first come about, I think Joe messaged me and said to me about it, and it just didn't, where it was at the time, it's just I didn't really, and I'm a plasterer, so I rely on earning my money through my hands. So I just thought it wasn't really the right thing to be doing with putting my hands at risk at the time. And then I think it's about a couple of years afterwards, he approached me again saying like how they are now, how everything's like it's been done properly now, you know what I mean, where people are more protected rather than just getting chucked in A-bells and breaking your hands and breaking whatever. He said it's more organised now, you're doing this and doing that. And I said, well, yeah, definitely something I'll have a look at. And then it just went on from there, really. And then obviously, as soon as he said to me about fighting, the first person I said I've got to fight is Jay Ferguson, because he's obviously a local boy, you know what I mean? People know him as he's the boy who does BKB, and he's the only one who signed for it. So I thought, well, how better than make a name for myself than fighting the boy that thinks he's the only one from our area. So there went on from there, really.
Obviously, there was a lot of dislike, shall we say, to put it mildly. What exactly happened there? Because, I mean, it was a quite volatile exchange.
Saying that they're doing things for the right reasons and weren't really doing it for the right reasons. So when we tried to support him at the beginning, it come out that he's pretty much just lying to all of us what he's doing. So that I disliked him for that, you know what I mean? So I'm a person that if you say something, you should do it, and he wasn't doing what he said he was doing. So I sort of just disliked him from that, from saying something and not carrying it through. And then it went on from there. And then obviously when I said about fighting him, everyone from the area's jumped on it, and it's just put added more fuel to the fire. And it went on from there, really. So, yeah, by that point, by the time we got in that ring, I hated him so much, I just wanted to try and tear his head off. So,
I think I'm right in saying that is the most viewed fight on Facebook. I think it has about 30 million views now. I mean, it was a real, real drawer.
Luckily enough, it went my way.
yeah, it did, yeah. And obviously he's back.
And 30 million watch me get knocked out. So.
That's true. We'll get on to that. Obviously, JJ Ferguson is back now in BKB, which we found out yesterday, which is, great timing for this interview. Is everything all right now? Like, if you see him in BKB, it's going to be all right?
Fairness, I've never seen him since that fight. I've never seen Jay again. Yeah. But I don't know our feelings. Once I shake a man's hand, that's it, forgotten for me. You know what I mean? I'll never carry on a grudge or anything like that. I'll still tell people what the reasons was if they asked me. But like I say, we sorted out in the ring. He shook my hand, and it's forgotten about from my side of things anyway. So best of luck to him. You know what I mean? Hopefully he comes back, sorts himself out, and makes a good name for himself. I wish him all the luck.
And then from there, you fought Ashley Gibson, obviously winning the light heavyweight British title, which went, particularly well. You finished him. I think it was in I'm trying to think. Third round. Yeah.
Obviously, that was never a fight I had planned. No. Obviously, Ashley Gibson, he come up and turned up to give me the fight because I trained for the fight. But it wasn't. If they would have planned that fight 2 months before that, I would have said I didn't want to fight him because I like to have. I'm not running it down or anything like that. But I just know he's too short for my fight style, and he did struggle to get into me, and I just knew it wouldn't ever be a fight. I know he's got heart, and you can't take it away from the boy. You get in and have a fight with anyone, but he's just too short for my stance. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, I was supposed to be fighting Christian Evans that night, and obviously Christian Evans didn't turn up. So it's been a couple of my fights, like obviously that I was supposed to fight Thingy as well, who didn't. Obviously, it didn't come through. So a couple of the fights have been almost last minute like stand-ins, which has been annoying because I prepared myself to fight boys that have been around BKB and had a big following the whole time through. So.
Yeah, obviously you talk about that. Jimmy McCrory was supposed to be at BKB 20. Robbie Drought coming in as a late-minute replacement. Yeah. Obviously, your last fight, a great performance again, but you had to come back from quite a lot of adversity with the knockout against Daniel Lower. How exactly did you sort of turn that round for yourself?
It was hard. I'm not running Daniel Llewellyn down one little bit, but I just didn't think personally I performed as good as I could have performed that night. Well, not performed as good as I could have performed, but I think I could have gone in better than that fight. Then, like when I went in against Robbie Trout, I was on my game. I was fit and I was ready and I was in and out and I was prepared to not be hit. Well, when I fought Daniel Llewellyn, I was just, I'd say I've had too many wins back to back, you know, and it's just, I was in that cycle of when I was training, my training wasn't proper training. It was, I was going to the gym, I was always staying fit, I was always pretty much fitter than everyone else I knew, so I thought I was ready to always fight. But Daniel made me realise that when I think I'm fit enough, I should be pushing myself that extra level to be fitter again. And that's what that last fight, mentally was hard, rather than like the fitness side of things, so I love training anyway, it's more the mental side of things, getting in that ring, and knowing what could potentially happen again, you know what I mean? So getting over that was probably the hardest thing, but I just found it myself and I got a big heart, and that's what made me come back. And that's why, obviously, you know what I mean? I'd love the chance to obviously try and take that loss back against Daniel Llewellyn, and he understands that, because it's in my ways to be a fighter. So
definitely, 100%. And you know, the point I want to get onto now, talking about your next fight. Obviously, you don't have anything in place at the moment, but one man that is calling for you quite a lot is Mason Shaw. What's your response to his comments in the last interview I did with him?
The only calling he seemed to have done is over the chat with you, because before that, I've never known anything of it. Because he for some reason he looked up and said, "Oh, everyone's avoiding him at this weight, that weight." But Mason's over so many different weights. No one ever writes him to be in their weight category, because Mason can be fighting a 15 stone, and he can be fighting a 17 stone. You know what I mean? Like when someone's bouncing around different weight categories, how can you ever put him as someone you need to be fighting to get to the next level? You know what I mean? Because he's so in and out. He's no different. I'm not saying he's a journeyman, but he's no different than someone who comes in at a BKB, but not really in it for the win all the time. You know what I mean? Because he is so up and down on weights. Wherever he always fought on my weight, Mason's definitely someone tasty. He can have a fight. He's someone that I would have looked at to have a fight with straight away. But now he said about fighting me, I don't give a fuck if he wins, lose, whatever happens to him, even if he gets an arm taken off. If he still wants to fight me, I will fight him on that day. Why the fuck he thinks that I'm scared to fight anyone, I do not know. Because all four of the fights I've had, every single fighter, Jay Ferguson, I think he had 7 or 8 fights. Then I want to fight Christian Evans, that's been around it from the start. Big following, big name, you know what I mean? Can get on with it. Then I obviously had a fight with Daniel Llewellyn. Then I want to fight Jimmy McCrory, probably one of the biggest names in BKB for known, you know what I mean? I've never avoided and tried to have an easy fight. All my fights have been lined up against good boys, you know what I mean? So why he thinks I'll avoid him, I do not know. Because I'd love, now he said it, he's got to fight me, you know what I mean? We definitely get it on, and I'm sure we'll have fun doing that.
And I think you touch upon that. I think the misunderstanding with a lot of people might be the fact that you have faced some guys who, absolutely no disrespect to them, but they are sort of lesser known fighters. But that has a lot to do with pullouts, and I feel like people aren't seeing that.
Well, Christian Evans obviously didn't even tell us on the night. Luckily enough, Jim and Joe was one step ahead of him and thought this potentially could happen, and they got Gibson there on that night just in case he didn't turn up, because no one was really hearing from him. So luckily enough they've done that, otherwise we wouldn't have had a fight. And obviously I know it wasn't much of a fight for me, but it was still something to make me feel rewarded from the months of training I'd put in, at least, you know. I know obviously I always prefer a tough fight, but it is what it is. You can only beat the man that's in front of you.
So you might, well, I would say with that fight, it's very likely that it would be for a British title, providing Mason wins his fight against Matthew Hodgson. Understand your light heavyweight title was technically, a lot of people get mixed up. There is a bit of a mix-up sometimes with weights. That was actually for the super middleweight title against Daniel Llewellyn, so you never technically lost your light heavyweight title.
Basically, because there was so much confusion in that. Basically, obviously, when I fought Ashley Gibson, I fought him for the light heavyweight. And then, when I come to fight Llewellyn, I generally thought Llewellyn was fighting me for my belt. But it comes like that we're fighting for a super middleweight, because obviously I only realised that we stood on the scales. He stood on the scales and I stood on the scale. I think I stood on the scales first, and he went, "He's overweight." And I said, "The fuck can I be overweight? I'm underweight for what I fight, you know, because I come under what I'm supposed to be fighting at light heavy." He went, "You're middleweight," and I went, "Well, he's fighting me for my title, so how am I fighting for super middleweight all of a sudden?" So there's a bit of confusion there. So technically, I never. Obviously, they're saying I lost it from the time out after the Llewellyn fight, but technically, I never did lose my belt for light heavyweight.
So we could potentially be looking at a match-up around that weight. Depends how much Mason Shaw loses weight, because he's gone from heavyweight all the way down.
I'll tell him now, so when he listens to this, I will fight at 90 kilos. 90 kilos around my weight. So anywhere around there, I don't really want to go any lighter, but anywhere around that weight. If I've got to eat loads of cakes and go up to his natural weight, 18, 19 stone or whatever he is, then I can do that if he needs be. But we're out the fight.
Do you rate Mason? Is he someone you think's a good fighter?
Yeah, I've always rated Mason. He's got fast hands. I think his hand speed worked better for him when he was a heavyweight because he was a lot faster than the big boys. But now he's coming down to our weight. Obviously, he's only leveling with us boys now on the speed. So I do rate him. He moves well. He's been around the boxing game a long, long time. You know what I mean? I've known him when he was doing the unlicensed stuff as well, and he's fought some very good boys. So I've always rated him. But I think it'd be an interesting fight, and that's what I like. He's my weight, and he's saying about fighting me. So let's get it on.
Definitely. I like this, CJ. I very much like this. You know, there is, as I say, there is a misconception. People think because of the fights that have been pulled out, they do think that you've been ducking people.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure myself. Obviously, we've spoken ourselves, and that's not your nature.
Well, even in my last fight, after I come back from the Daniel Well fight, I was offered a few names. They Jim and Joe said some names to me, and I said to them, nothing against them boys. They got hard to get in that ring, but I just don't see it a fight. I will only fight a fight where I think it's worthy of me selling tickets to my friends, where they're going to come and support me, win or lose. They're going to get their money's worth. If they're going to come and watch an easy fight, I'd rather not even sell my mates tickets. They're my mates. I'm not going to rip them off. You know what I mean? So I will only sell them a ticket when I know they're coming to watch a good hard fight. And like I say, I don't care if I win or lose. Obviously, I'm there to win, and I've got the art to push me to win. But I want a hard fight. I'd rather lose a hard fight than win an easy fight.
Definitely. And you talk about fans there. You sell a lot of tickets. I think 200 is the highest so far.
Yeah, something like that, 200 and something, I think, yeah.
Jeez. What do you credit to that following?
Just good mates around me, really. Like, a lot of my mates, I've got boys from over in, like, Fordingbridge, they're always behind me. I've got different boys from different areas, and they all sort of play their part, and as soon as they know I'm fighting, I don't even need to say anything to them. Like, I've got boys over like I say, at Fordingbridge, they have like 10 tickets. I've got boys over in different areas, and everyone gets together and they just all buy their tickets of me, and they sort of relieve the stress of me, rather than me running it around. They buy them and then sell them to their mates that's coming to support me as well. So it's just good, loyal mates. I'm loyal to them, and they know I've always got their back no matter what. So they all come and support me because they know, obviously, like I say, I'm loyal to them, so they're loyal to me, really.
And a very exciting fighter as well, which is obviously a big part of that. Obviously, 100% finish rate amongst your wins. Even when you lost, you managed to knock down Daniel Lowell twice. So, you know, you carry the power. Number 8 on our pound-for-pound hardest hitters. What do you accredit to that power?
I don't know. It's just there, innit? But like I say, I just got a deadly jab. I just got a deadly jab. And I put it down to my jab all the time. Like, 9 times out of 10, I think every single time I've dropped someone, it's my jab. I never really have to chuck my right hand. It's my jab hand or a left hook where I can usually finish someone. So, yeah, like I say, I work a lot on my jab, and I know that's my weapon, so I use it a lot. So, yeah, I just put it down to having a good, fast jab, really.
Definitely. And what tips would you give to those who are looking to improve their jab?
Tie one arm behind your back and keep using it. That's what I pretty much. When I was training amateur, I broke my right hand. So because I broke my right hand, I just worked my jab for a few months, and then just somehow it just got faster and faster and faster, and that's just where my speed's come from with it, I think, and it's carried up. Luckily enough, with my weight, I can sort of keep my speed there still. I do a lot of sparring as well with lighter boys. Like I've got our mate Peter. He's a pro. He's 2-0, 3 now, I think he is. He's a very, very fast boy. He's been around the amateurs. He's had a lot of amateurs. He's a very experienced fighter. And sparring with him and a few lighter boys, I find gets my hand speed so much faster. Rather than sparring the big hitters and taking hits, I spar now with the lighter boys, and they, like I say, we sort of exchange shots hit for hit now. So it just gets me a lot faster. So my hand speed, I feel like I'm going at like an 80 kilo sort of speed. You know what I mean? Which is good.
Yeah, and BKB 16 through to BKB 20, there was a little bit of time out, but I understand you're back, you're active. We're hoping to see a lot more of you. Where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years in BKB?
Wherever it takes me, really. Obviously, I want to get that British title back. I obviously want to see who's there for a world title, and work my way up to getting the world title, and just fighting whoever comes in and whoever's going to give me a fight, really. I haven't really got my eyes on anyone, apart from Mason, but now it's literally after I beat him, anyone who comes in.
No doubt at all. So sponsors, we'll finish off with that. I understand you have quite a few. Who have you got to thank for this fight?
My biggest sponsor, obviously Kingsley and UWR Group. That's recycling. They're two of my biggest sponsors. They've been with me ever well before I even done BKB. They've always been behind me on my unlicensed boxing and everything like that. And not only that, support our shows in Bournemouth. They're without them, all fairness, and their push, I wouldn't probably be doing it still. You know what I mean? They've given me a massive push for that by helping me out. I've got Funky Peach. They always do my clothing every single time I fight, and I'm moaning about colours and how I want things, and that ain't good. He's got to put up with the stress of me moaning every time and telling him I need 30 tops for 30 walking out people. He deals with everything. That's my mate Dan down at Funky Peach. I've got Ringwood and Fordham Bridge Skip Hire. They've always sort of support me, and now I've got my mate Joe Masters Smart Repairs. I've got my mate Sean at Havoc Motor Company. He's always been behind me. Tough Fitness, obviously. Lisa, I use her gym. She's always there, gives me a key, and I open that gym whenever I want, day in, day out. You know what I mean? She'll prioritise me. If someone's in that ring, she'll prioritise me and tell them to get out and let me have it. You know what I mean? Because she knows I need to be doing my training. So she's been amazing. And I can't think of there's any more, but it's endless, the amount of people that get behind me and support me. Obviously, like me good friends. Shane, he's my best mate. He's also my trainer, and me and him run gyms together. He's does a lot, you know what I mean? Like my last show, all fairness, I didn't even sell a ticket because I told him I want to be focused on my last fight. I don't want to be. Usually it's hard because you go into a fight and you spend a lot of time chasing down tickets, and you feel like you're spending more time chasing tickets than you are training. He said to me, he said, "You had to focus on this fight." He said, "I will do all the ticket running." So he'd done every single ticket for me last time. My mate Shane, I've got like endless mates who's always behind me. I've got my mate Phil who's getting up 6 o'clock every morning with me and doing the training with me. But like I said, it is endless, and I'm going to forget a million people, and they're going to message me when they see this go online saying, "You're a twat, what did you say?" But it is thank you to everyone, because literally without them, you know what I mean? Like I say, I'd probably lose the drive to do it without them all behind me. So it's legit, thank you to everyone who's there.
Teamwork makes the dream work. CJ, thank you for your time.
Yeah, that's all right.